Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, good night, depending on what part of the country you're located at. This is Jasir Jamal from Texas 1031 Exchanges, located down south of the country, of course. So before I begin this video, please understand that every single thing I have said in the videos that I have currently published and that I intend on publishing in the future, including this one, please do not construe anything in my videos as any forms of legal or investment advice, because it is not legal or investment advice. It is meant solely for educational and informational purposes only. Please always do your own due diligence before doing any kind of a big transaction that involves either a 1031 exchange or even not a 1031 exchange. Please always do your own due diligence. Consult with your tax attorney, with your CPA, or your estate attorney before making any big decisions, because investments have risks. You are never guaranteed to make enough money, you know? You can also lose money very badly, which is why you always got to do your own due diligence and consult with your experts before doing so, before making the big decision, you know? So without further ado, let's get into the video. So today I want to go ahead and address a very common question that kind of bounces off one of my previous videos when I said, can you do a 1031 exchange with stocks, bonds, or mutual funds and all that? And this is something I believed I had to make a separate video for, just to have some better clarity for all the people that are specifically looking for the answer to this question. So therefore, let me go ahead and say what the question is and then answer it, of course. So the question is, let's say you are a partner in an LLC or a partnership or a corporation, and that entity, or an entity in general, and that entity, you have multiple more partners with you. They all have their specific share in there, of course, and that entity owns a bunch of real estate. In this case, let's just say a fancy hotel in Georgia. Here we are back to that scenario again, a fancy hotel out in Georgia. So now the question is, can I go ahead and sell my partnership interest in that entity and do a 1031 exchange and buy another hotel out in like New York State? Again, we're going with that same example. Well, here's the thing. Unfortunately, you cannot do it because the entity is the one who actually owns that fancy hotel in Georgia. You do not. You are in that entity as a partner with all these other partners, you know? And if you just sell out of there, you're just selling your percentage and the partners are just going ahead and buying you out. And the IRS does not consider your partnership interest as real property, as we have talked about when I did the video regarding what exactly it says in the Internal Revenue Code section 1031. It has to be only real property. It cannot be anything else. And unfortunately, partnership interests do not count as real property. They count more as personal property. And as you recall, back in 2017, when the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act was signed into law, it unfortunately excluded personal property out of section 1031. So that unfortunately prohibits you from selling your partnership interest and going ahead and doing a 1031. But if you, as a person, own that hotel, of course, then you could do a 1031 exchange without any doubts. Or let's say, since that partnership owns the hotel, let me go ahead and draw it out for you folks. Where's the marker? Right here. So let's say here's the fancy hotel. You got all these buildings and all that good stuff. I know it kind of looks like tic-tac-toe, but please don't judge me. My drawing is pretty bad. Here's the LLC. We'll just say this is TLLC. No problem. Then you're in here. Your name is M, and then you have another partner by the name of J. You have another partner by the name of P. You have the other partner by the name of D, whatever you want to call it. You got all these partners up in here. But here's the thing. If you, let's say your name is M, and you just decide to sell your partnership interest and go do a 1031 exchange, you can't do it, unfortunately, because you guys don't own this property, this hotel. TLLC is the one who actually owns it. So now let's say if all of you partners want to go ahead and sell this hotel in Georgia and go buy a fancy one out in New York State, can you do it? Sure you can, because now the entity is doing it all together and all the partners are on board. And that's where the 1031 exchange would be okay. And I hope that this video was able to clarify the point about partnership interests. If not, please feel free to reach out to me and I will be happy to answer any specific questions regarding this. But then again, always consult with your CPA and your tax attorney, because your situation can be unique and your CPA and your tax attorney are more aware of your financial situation than I would, which is why it's always best to always get their opinion on these kind of matters, you know? So therefore, that's it for me today, folks. If you have any more questions, feel free to reach out. Until then, I will see y'all in the next video.